Hi everyone, today I'm going to create this beautiful Valentine's Day inspired look. And if you want to know how I did it, please keep watching. Okay, let's get started. So first, if you wear contacts, make sure you put in your contacts before you start doing your makeup, or when you put it in after, your eyes will water and you may mess up your under eye makeup. So you don't need too many things, and you don't need the exact things that I have. So just use what you have and let's do this. So I'm going to start off with Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation, and I'm in the shade 7.75. I do like to go in with my hands when I apply foundation. It just gives a more natural finish, and I prefer it for just simple going out, and prefer the full glam for when I go to events or weddings or something special. So I'm just gonna dot it across my face and just blend it in. I do have acne scars, which I will go back in and cover with a concealer. I learned makeup because I never liked when somebody else did my makeup, and I did want to feel special for an event and feel dressed up. So I decided to learn my own makeup. And what I've learned by doing my own makeup for the past 4 or 5 years now is there's no exact rules. You should make up rules that work for you, for your skin type, and make you feel good. Next, let's do concealer. So I use the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Flawless Wear Concealer, which looks like this. And I use the shade 4N Medium Deep Neutral. So for concealer, you can do whatever works for you, but since I do have fine lines under my eyes, I don't like it to feel too cakey. So I tend to go like this. You can see where I have the darkness right here. So I apply on the darkness like this, and then a little bit here. It really brightens up. I go here, I go there. So I'm gonna take my mirror and blend. I also blend this with my hands. I'm now gonna just cover up some imperfections and a little bit of darkness around my mouth. And then again, I blend with my hands. Over time, I realized that I enjoy makeup actually a lot. It is so fun to create looks, and I feel like truly nobody else knows your face as well as you. Even for my wedding, I did the smaller functions. I did my makeup look myself, and I was really happy with it because I knew I could trust myself and I knew my face the best. So now you will look like a ghost temporarily. Don't worry, we will fix that. Next, I'm gonna go in with powder, and my favorite one is the Huda Beauty, and this is in the shade Cherry Blossom. No, not Cherry Blossom, sorry. This is in the shade Peach Pie. This works better for my skin tone. I love this powder. I don't think there's any better powder on the market. It is so finely milled. The color is perfect if you're a shade like me. So now the concealer that I applied earlier, I'm just gonna blend it out, make sure it's not settling into my creases. And then I've just dipped into the powder. Quite a bit actually, a lot on my puff, but we're not gonna put this directly on, we're gonna blend it out. Now my puff looks like this, and now I will set my under eyes. Make sure you give another pat if you find that it's settled into your under eyes. And now I will bake. And for baking, we do need our puff to look like this. You put a lot on, but also not too much. And I'll just go again underneath the eye. I will let it bake for a minute or two, and until then, I will do powder blush. So I've put my blush on my brush, and I like to put my blush on this area of my face, and I definitely have blush blindness, but I love blush. I'm using the Revlon Kiss Me Coral shade. So now I'm gonna brush off the excess, and my under eyes look like that. I'm also now gonna apply some chapstick on my lips. Next, I'm gonna do my eyes, and I'm gonna use this eyeshadow palette, Too Faced Better Than Chocolate. This is my favorite eyeshadow palette that I own. It is just the most gorgeous color story. It also smells like chocolate, which is a plus. So before I actually go into the eyeshadow, I am gonna do primer so that eyeshadow doesn't crease and completely come off in a couple hours. You can use any eyeshadow primer that you have, and if you don't have eyeshadow primer, you can even just take your concealer, put it over your eyelids, and then set it with powder. And I'm using the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion. This is a great one. And once I've blended my primer into my eyes, I'm now gonna take the same powder puff that I had before with the same powder, pat it out even more, so I'm not putting too much on. Looks like this now. And then I'm just gonna set the top. So these are the ones I'm using. I'm going to start off with the shade Lick the Bowl. I'm just gonna cover up my eyelids with this flat brush. And this part actually you can also do with your fingers if you're not comfortable holding a brush yet. Then I'm gonna take the flat blending brush, take the same color, Lick the Bowl. I always make sure to brush off the extra or it's gonna come down onto your face. And then I'm just gonna bring it up into my crease. I like to start off with this base. So next, what I'm gonna do is take a medium brown shade with my pointed blending brush, and I'm going to take the shade Cake My Day. So far I'm only using matte. The only shimmer is gonna be in the middle of the eye. And this I'm gonna place on the corner of my eye here and a little bit there. I do try to have a gentle hand, and I try to make a little bit of an angle here so it's well blended out. So there's some dimension on the corners now, and I'm gonna do the same thing on the inner corner. Do make sure to leave the center right here where eye is when you look straight blank, because that's where we're gonna put the glitter, which is my favorite part. So I've done that on both eyes now. And now we're gonna go in with a slightly darker brown. And we have to be careful with this because we only wanna apply a little bit, just for some dimension. So I think I'm gonna go in with the shade, I think I'm gonna mix two. I'm gonna go in the shade Bitter Half, which is this one, and this dark one, which is called Brownie Points. I love that shade name. So I've mixed the two just a little bit, and I've done it on the point of this, because I don't want to apply too much. I'm gonna go in with a very gentle hand. When I want to have a very gentle hand, I hold my brush very far down. I find that it helps with just the right pressure. And I'm gonna put it on the corner, then blend upwards and outwards. You can see just a little bit of dimension. I'm gonna try to do the same thing on the inner corner. So now you can see the difference between the two eyes. It is subtle, but when you put the whole eye look together, it does make a difference if you have a bit of dimension within your eyes and if you've used a couple of shades. Okay, so I finished that on both eyes and it looks so good so far. Next, I'm gonna do basically the same thing that I've done up here on the bottom of my eye. And I'm gonna use this small detailer brush. So again, I'm gonna take Cake My Day and I'm gonna apply really close to my waterline. And I'm gonna make sure to leave right where I've left it blank down here as well. So with just doing that much, see how much warmth it's brought to my eye as compared to this. And once we put on our eyeliner and mascara, this will make a huge difference. So again, I'm gonna do this on my other side now. Does anybody else make funny faces when they're applying their eyeshadow? I definitely do, especially when I'm doing something with concentration. It's always funny to catch yourself in the mirror making that face. So that's both done. And now I'm gonna take the darker two shades that I used, which was Bitter Half and Brownie Points. Again, mix it. And I'm gonna keep this near the corners and slightly flick up right here. And for the darker shadow, I tend to just keep it on the outer corner, because if I put it on my inner corner, it tends to close up the eye, which we don't want. So now our eyes are looking like this. And as you can see, we have a blank part here in both the eyes and also down here. This is the best part. This is where we can finally put our glitter. So I'm gonna use a couple shades, but I'm gonna start off with What the Fudge, and I'm gonna go in with a gentle hand because I do wanna layer a few. And I do just tend to take it on my finger. And I'm just gonna go in the center and press up and down vertically to fill in the gap. Okay, the difference is subtle right now, but once we build it up, it's gonna look great. And now I'm going to take a lighter shade called I'm the Desert, and I'm gonna place it on top of where I put that for some dimension. It looks like that. And last, I'm just gonna go in a little bit with Ooey Gooey. This is pinky, but with more gold in it. So this will look really good as just like a topper. Love how that looks. Next, I'm gonna take the same brush that I use for underneath my eye. I'm just gonna clean it on a napkin and go in for my glitter. And I'm gonna mix the same shades in that part right beneath my eye, right here. And it's looking like this, which I'm really liking. Okay, next we're going to do our eyeliner. Okay, so for black, I'm gonna use the Rare Beauty eyeliner, just the pencil eyeliner in the shade True Black. And that just, I feel like, brings the whole look alive. And I'm gonna do the same thing. And I do go in my corner as well. And I also go on my upper waterline on the inside as well. So I'm gonna do that as well. This looks a little bit freaky the way I do it, but I tilt my mirror down and I look up and I just do it like this. If you need to, you can lift your eye a little bit while you do this, but be careful not to ruin your eyeshadow. So that is the eyeliner in the inner waterline. And now I'm gonna do the top. I'm gonna use a brown, this is my favorite brown eyeliner by K Beauty. And this is in the shade, I think it's just called Brown. And this is a great formula, especially for blendability and how creamy it is to apply. This is amazing. So what I'm gonna do is just go on the top and apply a line. It doesn't have to be particularly clean. I'm just gonna apply it, and I'm gonna take the same brush that I use for detailing underneath and then just smudge it out. Blending. And whatever residue is left on my blush, I take that into the in the inner corner a little bit. And I love the dimension it adds to your eye. And I'm gonna do the same thing on the other eye. Now I'm going to actually go in with my eyebrows. I'm gonna use the Too Faced Super Fine Brow Detailer Ultra Slim Brow Pencil in the color Espresso. So just with filling it in a little bit, it's made a huge difference. And I'm just gonna use the spoolie on the other end to just brush it out a little bit. And make sure there's no harsh pencil strokes. And you can see the difference. So that's what the eyebrows are looking like. And now I'm going to go in with my mascara. I'm using the very famous Maybelline Sky High Lash Sensational. This is the best mascara. It beats all other ones, in my opinion. So this is what it looks like with mascara done on both eyes. And now if you just want that little extra oomph, you can skip this if you want, but I feel like this makes a big difference. And I'm going to go in again with the shade Ooey Gooey. Take it on my brush and just pop it on the inner corner. Okay, last step now is going to be the lips. I'm going to do Huda Beauty Lip Contour 2.0 in the shade Warm Brown and Huda Beauty Faux Filler in the shade Posh. So I'm just going to line my lips. And I always make sure to get into the corners of my lips because you can have a little bit of darkness there, and once you cover it up, it really elevates your lip look. And now I'm gonna apply the faux filler. This makes your lips look really plump without the uncomfortable pumping sensation. So this is the final look. I really hope you try it out. This is a beautiful look that you can do for Valentine's Day, and I hope you learned something. And thank you so much for watching. Bye!